In this video, I'm going to do two examples where we calculate the APR for a certain loan. And APR stands for annual percentage rate, and this is just a percentage rate that reflects the interest rate charged on a loan. So basically the price the consumer pays to borrow money, because they can't borrow money for free. They have to actually pay the bank some money in exchange for being loaned this money. And so in order to find the APR, what we have to do is we have to use this formula right here. So we have to find the finance charge and divide it by the amount financed and multiply that by 100. And that will give us the finance charge per $100 borrowed. So that means for every $100 that is borrowed, that formula gives us the amount that the person has to pay the bank. And then we're going to take that number and look it up using this table below to find the APR. And so I'm going to just go ahead and start with the first example, and I'll use that example to work through and show you how to use the table. And so in this example, we have Theodore Roosevelt, who purchased a laptop for $600. He made a down payment of $50 and financed the rest for 2 years with a monthly payment for $24.75. And so the first thing you want to do with these problems, you want to write down the formula. So I did that here on the left. And then as part of the formula, we need to find the finance charge and the amount financed. It's usually easier here. I usually start with the amount financed first. So I'll put a little 1 here because we need that in order to find the finance charge. And so to find the amount finance charge or amount finance, all we have to do is take the cost of the item, so $600, and subtract any down payment. Now, if there isn't a down payment made, then there's nothing to subtract. It'd just be $600 would be the amount borrowed. In this case, there's a down payment made of $50. And so I'm going to take off $50, and that means the amount financed is $550. That's the amount borrowed from the bank. And so now I can come over to the finance charge, step 2, and in order to find the finance charge, all I have to do is find the total monthly payment, so the total that Theodore Roosevelt paid over those 2 years. So that would be $24.75 times not 2, because he's not making 2 payments. He's making 12 months a year times 2 years of payments. So that'd be 2 times 12, or 24 months. So we multiply years times months to get the total number of months. So we're going to multiply that by 24. So 24.75 times 24, and that gives us $594.00. Okay, so that's the amount that Theodore Roosevelt ends up paying the bank. But since Theodore Roosevelt only borrowed $550, then we need to subtract that amount. So we're going to take $594 and we're going to subtract $550, and we get $44. So there was a difference of $44 between those two numbers. That tells us that $44 is what goes to the bank. Okay, so now I've got my two values that I need to plug in the formula. So the finance charge is $44, so 44 divided by the amount financed, which was $550. So we divide those two numbers and we multiply by 100. So 44 divided by 550, okay, times 100. And we end up getting 8, which really represents $8. So that means there's $8 in interest for every $100 that the item cost. And so what we need to do now is we need to look up in the table, we need to look down the row that corresponds to the number of payments that this person made. So since he made 24 payments, because that's equivalent to 2 years, we're going to look on the row that says 24 payments. So we're going to look on this row and we're going to find the value that's closest to $8. Now in this case, $8 is actually in the row. A lot of times it's not. So you just want to find the closest number to the number that you get after you work out the formula. But $8 is in the row. So we find $8 and then all you have to do is look up. Okay, and you can see if we look up, 7.5% is going to be our APR. So our final answer here is 7.5%. And that's the APR on this loan. In the second example, we're going to find the APR for Carmen's car loan that we did in the previous video. And so the finance charge for that loan we calculated was $2,045.20, and the amount financed for that loan was $12,665. And so all we have to do is plug those numbers into the formula. So we're going to take the finance charge of $2,045.20, divide it by $12,665, and multiply it by 100. So I'm just going to plug that into my calculator. 12,665 times 100, and we get $16, and we have to round to the nearest cent here. So $16.15, since the 8 would make that 4 jump up to a 5. And so now we have to look, in this loan example, there were 60 payments made, which is equivalent to a 5-year loan. And so we're going to look down the row in our table that says 60, which is right here, and we find the number that is closest to $16.15. And so the number closest to $16.50 would be 16. That's closer than $17.40. And so then we find our APR by just looking up, and it's 6%. So the APR on this loan is 6%.